What is up, Dino Crew, and welcome to Dino Harry's Gaming Thoughts, episode number 5. You guys seem to be smashing the like button on this series, so let's go for it again. We're aiming for 20 likes. Leave a comment about what you think about today's topic, and remember to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything I'm playing. Now let's ask the question, are turn-based RTS games a dying breed? Now for me this is a very sore subject because I absolutely adore turn-based strategy games, such as Civilization and XCOM, and even Total War to an extent. However, they used to be the kings of strategy gaming, from the legendary Civilization series to tactical brilliance of XCOM. These games were the staple of deep thinkers and strategy lovers alike. But today, things aren't looking so good, and we're here to ask the questions. Are turn-based RTS games dying? And if so, who's to blame for this? So, the fall of giants. So if we look at the latest Civilization game, Civilization 7, or should I call it Civilization 7 The Controversy, was absolutely review bombed on Steam. Why? Well, a mixture of reasons, to be fair. First point, a lackluster AI. It was awful. You know, even switching up the difficulty, the AI just seemed to not be interested in trying to do anything. And it's really poor from a Civilization game that the AI can't do anything right. Monetization put into the game. Civilization never was about that. It was always just about having a good game. Now, I know later iterations had expansion packs for different civilizations, but this year they just seem to have absolutely thrown it over the top. And the biggest issue I find with Civilization is they've streamlined the gameplay at an expense of depth. Fans wanted a next great Civilization game, and we got really what felt like a mobile cash grab game, which is absolutely awful when you think about it. So on the screen now I'm showing you some Civilization reviews, and they're just slating it from top to bottom. I've played every Civ game. The first one, great chance maybe in a few months and update to mods. I mean, we're relying on mods to make a Civilization game good. You know, the last poor Civilization game, in my opinion, was Civilization Beyond Earth, and I really dislike that game. And it feels like we've gone back to that sort of stage. There's a review here. I've been playing the game for franchise for 30 years. I appreciate the innovating trying new ideas rather than recycling the same game over. They made that attempt with Civ 7 with some good and very bad ideas. That's what I mean. They've tried some good stuff, which, don't get me wrong, you know, you've got to try and keep the game fresh. But why take so many good features away from the game and just turn it into a cash grab for the Civilization fans? And I do feel for you guys because I have not bought it after seeing the review bombs. I held my money back. If you've played Civ, what do you think about it in the comments? And then, you know, one of my personal favourite turn-based strategy games, which I've recently got back into, XCOM. The last mainline entry for XCOM was War of the Chosen, which came out in 2017. That's 7 years ago. Frax teased XCOM 3 a while back, but we got Marvel Midnight Suns instead. Now, let's be honest, if you're a Marvel fan, you probably loved it. But for you XCOM fans out there, that's not what we wanted, and since then there's been absolute radio silence from them. So what's happened to the game? Where is it? Are fans expecting to see an XCOM 3? For me, I think it's a great game. I know that a lot of people hate the fact that, you know, you can miss a 90% shot chance at point blank range. But I love that aspect of, you know, well, if I mess up this turn, it's going to go to hell. And the fact that they have Iron Man mode, which, if you've not played XCOM before, it saves the game after every single turn. So there's no going back. You commit to that move and it's game over. And I think, you know, it's a shame to see the franchise just disappear like that. You know, there's so many hardcore XCOM fans out there, and it's a dying breed, unfortunately. So possibly what's causing this issue is the industry shift from real-time and live services. Footage, games like Total War, Age of Empires, and mobile RTS games. One possible answer to all of this is the industry is moving away from deep turn-based strategy games and towards real-time and live service models. Games like Total War, Warhammer, and Age of Empires 4 are thriving because they offer real-time action, constant DLC updates, and multiplayer hooks that keep the players engaged and spending. Now, this is the biggest issue I find with a lot of modern games, is they just want to keep the players spending. You know, some of the best games last year I found did really well because they weren't interested in taking money from the players. Space Marine 2, Indiana Jones, Sniper Elite Resistance that I'm playing through currently, Terminator Resistance, I know that's quite an old game, but they're not interested in taking money, they just want to make a great game. And, you know, Monetization and live service models just go hand in hand. They rake in the cash. Turn-based RTS games, they're going to be pretty hard to monetize unless you start looking at the route of skins and loot boxes, and nobody wants that. Perfectly balanced turn-based game does not need microtransactions, loot boxes, or battle passes. It just needs good game design, good level design, and let's be real, publishers don't want what they can't milk dry. Remember what we spoke about with GTA last week? So realistically, if all this is coming hand in hand, what else is possibly causing the destruction of real-time strategy games? Is it the fact that the players have given up on it? Are players bored of turn-based strategy games? You know, YouTube content, there seems to be less and less people producing content about turn-based strategy games. It seems that the trend of that is just going downhill. And the players are partially to blame for this. You know, turn-based RTS games are a niche within a niche. The average player today wants to play your fast-paced games, your Fortnites, your Call of Duties, your, games that give you that instant hit. Marvel's do really well at the moment with their Overwatch style game because it's fast paced, it's getting people involved. Strategy games, they require patience, planning, and time. Three things modern game culture is moving away from. And it's a shame because I really, really do love RTS games, and unfortunately it's just the way that it's going. We're going further and further away from that and more to fast paced, quick action games, which is a shame for you and me, the fans of turn-based strategy games out there. In the age of TikTok and Twitch, attention spans are shrinking and slow, methodical games just don't get the same traction. This isn't just a gaming industry problem, it's a cultural shift from having the patience to I just want instant success, instant now. However, there is hope for us out there, for our good friends that enjoy RTS games and turn-based RTS games. Indie developers are stepping up where AAA developers are letting us down. Games like Sons of Quests and Old World have shown there is an audience for complex turn-based strategy games. Even modders keep classic games alive with new incredible content. The demand is there, but it's being ignored by the AAA publishers, which is a massive shame. Because if another XCOM game comes out, I personally think it would push their limelight back on turn-based strategy games. If you guys haven't played XCOM, I highly recommend you go and play it. Even if you can, borrow a friend's copy, or if you use Steam Share Library, play it if you can and just have a go. Don't expect instant results. Play it for an hour or two and just get into the game and enjoy it. The main question is, though, can the turn-based RTS games genre survive without major publishers bashing it? And I think the reason that, this is coming up is I don't think it will. I think the more and more AAA developers that turn their back on real-time turn-based strategy games, I think it's just going to die. We could be looking at a future where these games only exist in indie and niche circles, which is a massive shame for a lot of, a very big audience that enjoys the game. It's a shame, and I hope you guys who do love the turn-based strategy games find a game that you enjoy, and if you are playing one, let me know in the comments down below what games you're thinking could bring this genre back to life. For me personally, I think an XCOM game needs to come out to really revamp it. Can I see it though? No, I can't see it. So what do you think? Are turn-based games really dying, or is it just a rough patch before the big comeback which we all want? Let's talk about it in the comments, and hey, if you love strategy games as much as I do, consider supporting indie developers, the guys that are keeping this franchise turning over. Those indie developers aren't making as much as those AAAs, and they are producing some absolute awesome content. If you like indie games, my good friend iHempai, who I've linked in the description, has a series focused on indie games, and he is fantastic at that. So if you want to go check that out, go check him out in the comment section and the description. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe for more in-depth gaming content, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep strategizing, players.